Yeah.
Okay. Hi everybody, and welcome to our session called JavaFX Mashups. I'm really really happy to see so many of you here, despite the competition from, those Java posse guys with a beer and everything. So perhaps I shouldn't have mentioned that. Don't leave, don't leave. Today we're going to talk about how to integrate web content into Java applications. And by web content, I mean, well, HTML, JavaScript, CSS, stuff like that. And we'll be using the WebView that was introduced in JavaFX 2. But that's really just an implementation detail, I guess. So this is definitely about integrating web content with Java applications. And we'll be doing this by showing you a lot of demos. We have some really well thought through, educational, inspirational, great demos, and some that you wrote, right? You wrote some.
No.
You wrote some stuff that we'll also show at the end, maybe, I don't know. So we're going to show a lot of demos, try to have a bit of fun, and just sort of have a look at what we can do with WebView in JavaFX, because it's a really powerful tool. And why don't you begin by showing some of the amazing things you can do with the WebView?
Sure. So just for the record, my demos rocks. Yours? I don't know.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got.
Sure. So I'm going to show you how to just load a web page. It's very easy, but it's something we need to do. And, well, let's start with the architecture. And it's very easy. We have a web view, and that's just a normal JavaFX node. So you can place it anywhere you like in your scene graph. And the web view is responsible for showing the content to the user, and the content that is generated by the web engine. And the web engine is responsible for fetching your data, your URL, and parsing it, and creating the DOM and applying CSS, and then passing on the data to the web view for display. So we have the web view and the web engine, and that's about it. So let's continue with some code. I have my simple web page, and in the start method, I just create a web view. And I get the engine by invoking WebView get engine, and I just loaded some page.
Some page.
mylittlepony.com. Sure. So, and then I just add the web engine to the scene, and that's it. And this is the result.
Impressive.
Sure.
Nice, vivid colors and
so
ponies.
I've chosen My Little Pony because I know that's your favorite page. I mean, I've been at your house, and I know that you have all those posters on your walls. But no. My Little Pony is for you, it's not for me.
Let's just move on.
Sure. So we've loaded a page from the internet, but you can also load it from, the local storage, and you do it like this. So just invoke load and your local path.
Right, so this could be a URL to a page within the jar file, right?
Sure.
You could sort of pack pages into your program and ship it together.
You can bundle it all together, yes.
Right, cool.
And sometimes you just want to show a very short snippet of HTML code, perhaps in a string. And this is how we do it. So we have this page content with some valid HTML, and we invoke load content with the string. And it's very easy. And depending on how your page content looks like, I mean, we have just ... but it could look something like this.
Not funny.
No, that's it. No, kidding. So we have the WebView, and the WebView is based on WebKit. The WebKit is the open source project that is used by many of the major browser vendors out there. So it's very capable. And with the WebView, we have support for CSS, SVG, media, JavaScript, everything that you come to expect from a modern web browser. So it's very powerful. Cool. So My Little Pony, it's only the beginning. I mean, you can do better stuff than that.
You can show other web pages as well.
No.
Oh, no.
Yep. Yes.
All right.
So we know how to load a web page.
We do, and we know how to load local files and load the HTML source from a string, which basically lets you load it from anywhere you want.
Sure.
But yeah, loading stuff, that's a good first step. But I think we need to make things a bit more interesting by showing how to integrate the WebView better into your application. We need to make it behave as a well-integrated part of this whole program. And there are a number of ways of doing this, and I'm going to focus on 3 of them. Visualizing page load progress, so that you know what's going on. Showing alert dialogues. Alerts are those annoying JavaScript pop-ups that you see from time to time. So we're going to have a look at how to take care of those, and how to open a new window, also from JavaScript. And unlike you and your screenshots, I actually wrote a real demo to show. So yeah, a bit more advanced. So I think this is the one. There it is. Impressive, yes. So this white area here is a web view. It doesn't have any content yet. And up here I've added a progress bar to kind of show the progress of this page that will be loading. So let's have a look. Okay, well, the progress bar works. That's the important thing. I don't know about the page. It's a web page of a conference in the area. I don't know. It worked before the presentation, but
don't worry about it. It's
okay. There it is. Great.
Yeah.
So we can always play in the network. That's what we've learned doing this presentation. But it works, and actually it's quite good that it wasn't too fast, because you could really see that the progress bar was filling up in a nice way that you sort of expect from a browser. I also have the 2 other demos in the same program. This is a very simple web page that just displays an alert dialog from JavaScript. And if I were to run this in a web view without any modifications at all, nothing would actually happen. The web view doesn't care for alert dialogs. But there are ways to handling them yourself. And in this case, I've sort of created a nice slider that slides down here with a message from JavaScript. And I can dismiss it like that. So it's completely up to you how you choose to visualize these alerts, or ignore them completely. That's up to you. And finally, the new window. There it is. Similar web page. And in JavaScript, there's a method called, or a function called window.open that lets you open a new window, or at least request one to be opened. And you pass the URL that you want to open in the new window, and you can also wish for certain features from this new window, like if it should have a menu bar, or whether it should be resizable or not, and so on. And the web view works in, well, it doesn't really work the way you expect it to, I guess. If you try to open a new window inside the web view, that URL will actually be loaded in the current web view. So that's not what I expected, but I guess it's a reasonable default behavior, I guess. But here I've chosen to create a more traditional pop-up window. So this is well, it's just a window of its own. We can move it around just like you would expect. So yeah, that's some integration stuff. And of course, we'll have a look at the code as well. Right, so we started with a progress demo. And for that, we needed a web view and a progress bar. And the progress bar is also like a standard component in JavaFX, so nothing fancy yet. Then we get an object called a load worker from the web engine of the web view. And just like the name suggests, the load worker is used to load resources into the web view. And then we'll use a very nice JavaFX feature called bindings to connect the value or the progress of the load worker to the value of the progress bar. Thank you. And it looks like this. So we have properties in JavaFX. And we get the progress property from the progress bar, which is its value. And we use the bind method to bind it to the progress property of the load worker. And with this single line of code, we've made sure that the value of the progress bar will always display well, the progress of the web view, more, I guess. So when we start to load a new page, it will automatically begin from 0 and then fill up just like you saw. So I like this a lot. It makes working with user interfaces really nice. You don't have to clutter the code with a lot of, update this and update that. You can just bind it and, well, it works. So that's great. Handling alerts is very simple. You just set an event handler, and you'll get a callback every time your JavaScript wants to display an alert. So you get an event with a string, that's the message for the alert box, and you can choose to do whatever you want with that. Opening new windows takes a bit more work. You probably remember these feature requests that we can get, like JavaScript wants a window without a menu bar, but with something else. You can have like a resizable window or a window of a certain size and so on. And we get those requests inside this pop-up features object. So, like you saw, I created just a traditional pop-up, and I do that by creating a new stage with a web view and set that as my scene, or in my scene. And then I return the web engine of this web view. So my job here is basically to tell the framework which web view to use to load this URL of the new window. So that could be the web engine of the current web view, or of a different web view, or if I return null, it won't be loaded at all. So you basically have full control over what gets loaded where, which is nice. So yeah, a few ways of sort of keeping an eye on the web view and get notified about what it's up to, I guess.
Thank you. That was really boring. So integrating the web engine into your JavaFX application, it's necessary, but it's not enough if we want to create a seamless user experience. What's missing is communication. So we need a way to communicate from JavaFX and into JavaScript, and the JavaScript part of the web view. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And we just create a web view, and we get the web engine. And then we load some page.
That's not boring at all.
You ruin it. And the next block of code is just to make sure that the entire page is loaded. So when we pass the state equals state succeeded, we know that the page is loaded. And now we can start sending commands from JavaFX and into the JavaScript part.
Right, because otherwise perhaps the things you expect to be there haven't been loaded yet, I guess.
Exactly. And we can just execute scripts. So engine execute script. And in this case, we change the background of the body to some color. And it will look like this. So based on our previous example, we have a red background.
And it's still not funny, so keep going.
Sure. And we can also, we can get the HTML code from the web view by asking for the document element .innerHTML. And that's the way you do it. That's the way you get the HTML, because there are no APIs in the web view for getting the source code. So you will use JavaScript, and you will get an object in return. So you can ask for stuff and get it in return. And you can just scroll the page to some specific point if you like.
Right, because that's another thing that you can't really find a method to do this in the WebView API.
You have to use JavaScript. And you can basically do whatever you like. You can execute any valid JavaScript, and it can be a really, really long string containing JavaScript. So it's up to you to do whatever you like. So that's how we communicate from JavaFX and into the JavaScript part of the web engine. It's very powerful.
So this existing JS function would be a function in the web page, in the web view.
Yes.
So we can sort of
tell it to do stuff. You can call functions or just execute scripts, whatever you like.
Cool. And I like that you can get things in return as well. That's kind of powerful.
It is.
But it's not enough. We need to make things a bit more exciting here by having our JavaScript talk back to us, I guess, talk back to JavaFX. We need to have, we can have events in the web page and so on, things happening there that we need to tell the application about. And this requires, a slightly more sophisticated solution, I guess, because when we want to execute JavaScript, we'll have a string with that JavaScript code and just send it into the web view, like, run this, and it does. I wouldn't want that to work in the opposite direction. I don't want a web page with a string of Java code telling our application what to do. That's not the way we want it. So what's the problem here, really? Well, we have to completely different contexts. We have our Java application running, of course, and then we have the JavaScript that lives inside our web view. And that's kind of a world of its own. And by using the execute script method, we can send commands this way, and we can also get stuff in return, I guess. But for going from JavaScript into Java, like I said, we need a more sophisticated solution. And luckily, there is one. So in our Java program, we can create an object. Any object we want. It doesn't have to extend from a specific class or anything, just any old Java object. And then we can inject this into the JavaScript context. So this is really magical, I guess. So if you have a Java object with 3 methods, you'll end up with a JavaScript object with the same 3 methods. And by calling those methods, you will actually invoke your Java methods, I guess, or functions methods. You can pass arguments from JavaScript into Java, and you can also return things back. So I guess in both these cases, we have sort of a two-way communication. It all depends on who wants to start. And I have a really, really awesome, amazing demo for this.
Sure.
And that's not a screenshot. So let's have a look at another demo. There it is.
That is amazing.
It is. I know. We can just stand here and watch it for a while.
No.
No, okay. So this is a very simple example. The white rectangle is a web view, of course, running a very simple web page. But by clicking these links, I can actually have the web page telling the JavaFX application to change color. And if that's not enough, I even have a link here that will close the program. And this is not something you would be able to do without, well, having JavaFX do its part. So by clicking here, I can simply shut it down. We can look more at it later if you want, if you want to see more.
Sure.
So some code for this. Like I said, we can use any object for this, but we choose to create a new class called integration in this case, and it has a single method called exit that just shuts down the program. And this is the magic part, I guess. We create a web view and we get this web engine, like we always do. Then we use actually the execute script method that you showed us. And we use that to run arguably the smallest script you'll ever run. It's just window. And the window is kind of the global context of the JavaScript world, I guess. It's the topmost object in the hierarchy. And we get a reference to this window object as a JS object. And the JS object is a class that can represent any JavaScript object. And it has generic methods for setting and getting variables and so on. And we use the setter called setMember to actually set a new member variable on the window object. So we create a new instance of our integration class and call it Java integration. We always choose the best names for our variables, I know, but you do. This works. So we set a new member in the window object. And like I said, the window object is the global context in JavaScript. So from any JavaScript function, I can now call Java integration exit. So this could work in the page, in the JavaScript code of the page, in a function, or from an HTML link like this. You just have to write JavaScript before it. So this way you can have links that does things in your applications, or you can have JavaScript functions telling the application that something has happened, or the user wants to do something. The user clicked this or dragged that, I don't know, but it's really, really nice. And I also like that Java is always in control, and it opens up certain resources for JavaScript to use. Because in some cases, you might not be sure what's running in the web view. If you're downloading stuff from the internet, you might get evil JavaScript code from some man in the middle. So you should be a bit careful about which resources you open up to JavaScript. And this way you can sort of tell individual scripts, like you can use this resource, you can use that resource, and you probably shouldn't allow it to do whatever it wants with the file system or your databases and so on. You should put some logic in between. But it's cool, and it works really, really well.
Sure. So changing the background of the stage and exiting the application.
It's cool, right?
I'm defeated.
Yep.
Can't beat that. I mean, it's not possible. Well, I have another thing. Do you know what this is?
Ooh.
I'm serious.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. I guess you try to write hello world?
No, it's not.
Okay.
This is JavaScript, and it's basically a fractal. So if you run it, this is what you'll get.
Cool.
Cool.
Kind of geeky, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is the time it takes to render the image. So in different browsers, we have Chrome, 1.6 seconds, and we have Safari a bit more. And then we have the WebView close to 4 seconds.
Right. So this must be a pretty complicated fractal, I guess.
Yes.
Yes.
You saw the algorithm. So it's very complicated. I wrote it. So the user will have to wait 4 seconds for us to render the image, and that's not good enough. So we have to, come up with something.
Right.
And, the way to solve it is, I'm going to use your technique of communicating from HTML, JavaScript into Java. So I will just, kind of pass the entire algorithm to Java and do the heavy lifting in Java, because Java is really quick, and then just return the image or the byte array, whatever you get, to HTML, JavaScript, and just render the image. And if we do that, we will end up with a delay at about 800 milliseconds. So half the time it takes for Chrome.
Right.
And, fractals is kind of geeky, but, you have other stuff that you need to do, like face recognition and some image manipulation. You can just pass it on to Java and do the heavy lifting and just return the result. So it's very quick of doing it.
So this is, I see, right. So if you load this web page in a browser, it would take a certain time. But if you load it into your Java application, you can actually make it run faster by doing some of the heavy stuff in Java.
Yes.
Cool.
So another screenshot.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, yes. Good job. You're clearly the king of screenshots. All right, but now I think we've reached the point where our scripts are becoming quite complex, and they might not always do what we want, especially not when you're writing them, right? So it's time to talk a bit about debugging. All modern browsers have really good debugging tools built into them. Even Internet Explorer has decent tools. So, well, of course we could debug our JavaScript in the browser. But once we start communicating with our Java code, then we're using things that aren't available in the browsers. We can't really debug it there. So we need a way to debug the scripts running in the WebView. And there are a couple of things you can do. Sometimes all you need are like a few quick printouts to get an idea of what the script is up to. And there aren't really any dedicated methods of doing this in the WebView, but we've already shown you one way of sort of getting a simple text message from JavaScript to Java. And you could, for example, use the onAlert callback. So by just printing whatever you get, you have effectively given JavaScript the ability to print your system out. But this is kind of a hack, right? This isn't really what this is meant to be doing. And you probably don't want a lot of alert calls in your JavaScript either. So not the best solution. This is kind of the quick and dirty version. But luckily, you can do this.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This is amazing. It's
Finally.
great, right? Yeah. And what this does is that it loads a tool called Firebug Lite from the web into the WebView. And obviously, I didn't write this script on my own. It's sort of the standard way of loading Firebug Lite. And if you haven't heard of it, Firebug it's kind of a debugging tool for Firefox. And the Lite version is implemented entirely in JavaScript. So it's great. I think the best way to explain it is just show a demo.
A screenshot. A screenshot.
No. Debug.
Yes.
Right. So I've created a very simple browser here. Its only task here in life is to debug things. So I'm going to load a page. This is where I usually rent my cars. It's a very good page. And you can see we have different offerings here. I don't know what else there is. You can see the cars. There they are. Yeah, I like it. It's very friendly, and you know, it's easy to use. It's very well designed, and you can easily.
You gotta be kidding me. You're not
No.
showing that page, are you? I mean, it's
great, right?
Yeah, sure, it's horrible. I mean, why? You know, no. You're gonna break Firebug. So let's not go there. I'm gonna show you another page that is so much easier to debug. I mean, this is undebuggable.
Yeah, because it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. See what you got.
Sure, this is the page of the world. This is the best page ever. So debug that if you can. You don't like onions, do you?
I think you need a bit of debugging. What's wrong with you? All right, let's use this. I guess it's a little bit less cluttered.
A little bit.
So I'll just click the debug button, and if everything works, we'll have Firebug Lite. And is that you or me?
It's me.
Probably you.
Yeah.
And as you can see, it opens up as a panel down here. We can resize it, and there's really no way of telling that this is some kind of JavaScript thing that was injected. So the first tab we have here is a console. So this is where any error messages or warnings will appear from the JavaScript in the page. And you can also execute scripts by just entering them down here. The next tab is the source code of the page. So you can either sort of drill down here and open up the different tags and see what you can find, or you can use the inspect button right there to select something here, the headline, for example. So you can easily find different elements in the source code here. And to the right, you can also see the style for this element, and you can actually edit this too, live if you want to. Oops. Orange. Yeah, like that. So that's really useful. And you can also see all the style information for the entire page, and also some script stuff here. Well, in most cases. You have all the different scripts up here, so you can see what's on this page and sort of have a look at the different script files and what they're up to and so on. So this is a very powerful tool, and I love the idea that you can just download it from the web and it just works within the WebView. And I think that says a lot about how powerful the WebView is, that it can run a script this complicated that does all these strange tricks to sort of let you know what's going on in the WebView. And this makes the WebView so much more useful and easy to work with. So this is great. This is great. Okay, so time for some more screenshots from you, perhaps?
No. Yes.
Right.
So debugging, really cool. I mean, you gotta have it.
Yeah, you can't really live without it. And, well, you can think of debugging as kind of it's like a bridge over troubled code.
Okay.
No, I don't know. Something like that.
So, I'm going to show you something totally different, something useful.
See?
A screenshot. Okay, so this is an ugly bridge, and that's it.
Okay, so next up, no.
No, so I'm going to modify the content of the web. And one way to do that is by issuing JavaScript commands, like I've shown you, and that is a very powerful and very generic way, but there's another way to do it as well. So this is the HTML code. We have a body, and we have a div and an image. Text and an image, that's it. And we have two IDs, header and image. Now, what we need to understand, to learn, is that for every element in HTML, there's a counterpart JavaFX object. So we have in JavaFX HTML image element, and we have HTML div element and HTML body element. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask the web page for these objects and just modify them. And the way to do that is like this. So we ask the engine for the document, and that is like the document object model. And next we get the body from the document. And we change the background by setting an attribute.
Right, so here you get this as an HTML body element, which is nice.
Yes, so you know what you're working with. It's a body element.
And probably your IDE can show you what methods you have to work with on this specific element and so on. Cool.
And then we get the header, the text, and we change the content of the div element, and we change the style to make it look a bit better. And then we do the same for the image element. And as you can see, we have this set source method as well, and we just pass on an image. So it's not communicating by JavaScript. This is much more sophisticated. And by doing this code, we will end up with another screenshot like this. This is the result.
It looks much better now.
I know.
But you don't have to like reload it or sync it or commit it or.
No commits, no updates. As soon as you change the object, it will get updated. So change the JavaFX object to update the web page. It's
powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can also just insert a specific node into the DOM, or you can append it, or you can remove it again.
Cool.
I know. So believe it or not, I'm going to show my first demo.
Oh, I can hear the exceptions coming from here. Hear the exceptions coming from here.
I think. Okay, so this is the JBI.
The JBI?
The 10 most wanted Java fugitives. These are the ill-behaving guys in the Java community. And you have some really bad over there. So you have Jim Weaver and Jonathan smoking. I don't know if he's smoking. I don't know what it is.
Well, I know he doesn't drink beer, but smoking,
yeah,
maybe.
And Johan, the professor, he's kind of a professor. So
evil genius.
He's a genius. And this is it. So my first demo.
I think you made a small mistake, though.
I don't think so. I don't make mistakes.
Right, but I'm pretty sure Indiana Jones doesn't write Java.
What? You're kidding me. He's one of the core committers.
Yeah, but that's kind of a secret. Ooh, yeah, so you screwed up. Okay, you were in trouble.
So, you know what? This is so much more than just a web page. So I've used the techniques we've shown you, and I've kind of created a very simple editing tool. So I can move the mouse, nothing happens, but as soon as I press the command key, I can highlight the items. So we want to change Indiana Jones, and all I have to do is just press on him.
Oh,
and you get the settings panel.
Right, so you kind of open the page to see what's behind it, I guess. Okay.
And you can see the class, if it's editable, ID, style, and the source. So you want me to replace Indiana Jones with, well, who?
Well, somebody related to Java, at least. Whoops.
You're annoying me.
Oh, always.
Yeah, so like Gosling.
That would be a good idea.
So James Gosling. Okay, sure. He's almost as famous as Indiana Jones. There he is. Ooh. Okay,
that's not James Gosling. That's not the James Gosling I know of.
We can change the name as well, since it's a text, to Martin Gunnarsson.
Thank you. Well, luckily this is only on your computer, so nobody will ever see it again.
Actually, no, because I've added some Java code that updates the web page live. So this is www.javamostwanted.com, and you will see it live. So you can update it live from my application. And I've only used it, I'm communicating and I'm pushing commands and I'm modifying the DOM. And I'm taking some screenshots to make the animation, so it's very simple.
Right.
So you're on the World Wide Web.
Cool. The World Wide Web.
So that was my first demo.
Yeah, let's get rid of that. I think I can beat that because, this is just a gimmick. This is just something that you do for fun. But I actually have something useful to show you. I hope. So I'm going to start a demo here that actually shows a real-world use case for the WebView and the techniques we've shown. And this is a really, really complicated program. I have no idea what it does, and it's really difficult to use. right?
And you're the guy who wrote it, and you still don't know what it does. So
Yeah,
Good job.
that's how complicated it is. But luckily, this program comes with a help function. So you can choose help and show the menu. There it is. And this is, of course, a web view. It's showing nicely formatted HTML, which itself is a very, very good use case for the web view. HTML is great for formatting content, and there are a lot of people out there who know HTML and so on. So it's already a useful example. But you know, we're running a WebKit browser here. It's something really, really advanced. Why not sort of make use of all that cool stuff to make the help function a bit more intelligent, I guess? And I've sort of scratched on the surface here of what you could do with it, but here's a how to do something in this application. And there's a small guide here, and the first one is, in the main window, select the ding radio button, right? Well, then you have to start looking for that. Yeah, and it might not even be visible at this moment. You might have to scroll, or you might have to open another tab or another, like a pop-up window or something. But by just clicking this link here, you can actually highlight the element that we want to, well, select. So I can easily find it up here. And when I select it, you can see that the first step is now green. So we made it one step further. And it's the same with the next scroll bar, slider down here, and some kind of button somewhere there. So by going back and forth like this, we can let the help function know what's happening in the application, and the help function or the documentation can also tell the application to do things. So if you had a section in the help document about, well, settings, then you could have a link to open the settings form, or you can even have the help you set the correct values for different well, settings in there. So I think this could be a really useful thing for the web view, because you know everybody needs documentation, and it might not be documentation. It could be any kind of well formatted content. We could put forms in here. We could put animations in here, videos, and like you could take a test in here and submit your result and get the score right inside the app. So I think this is I like this a lot, and I think this could be like the first actual use case for the web view at your company, for example.
Sure.
So yeah,
Sweet. User docs. Pretty boring.
you're never happy. You're hard to please.
So I'm going to show you a real demo. You know, you like two things.
Well,
My Little Pony and beer. Which is kind of a strange combination. But
let's not go there, no.
So I've written the perfect application for you. It's called Beer Frenzy.
Beer Frenzy.
And this is what it looks like. So when we're done with our presentation, we want to go out for a beer. And we need to plan our night. I mean, otherwise we will end up like we always do.
At the hotel room. All right, so you have a map
later,
there.
yes. So this is the web view, and the background is just, well, it's just an image in the scene, and we have some buttons. So what do you want to do?
Well, obviously I need a beer.
You always need a beer. So we've connected the web view with Google Maps, and we fetch information about the pubs in the area.
In some area.
In some area, like San Francisco. And let's go there. Okay, so it's a taxi ride for $11. Sure.
Well, you're paying, so I don't really care.
Thank you. And I guess we need another beer, right?
Always.
Always another beer. Let's go over there. I guess it doesn't matter anymore. So
No.
I'm paying. What do you want to do?
Let's have some food. Something to eat. You have
Sure.
to eat as well.
You are hungry. I'm gonna go over there. I think it's a really nice place. Yeah, sure. I don't care. So sure, I'm hungry. So we had beer and we had food. Nice.
I think that's it.
It's not. It's not enough. I mean, we've had beer. We have to dance.
Oh, it's going to be one of those nights. Oh,
Sure. So I think I can dance. Well, I can't dance, but I've had beer. So And we're going down there, so like that. And $9. I'm already broke, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Bring out the credit card.
Sure. So
All
we
right,
had beer.
but that's it. No
That's
more
it.
dancing, no
Okay,
more
so
beer.
we've had enough. And let's see where we end up. Okay, so we have a taxi ride all over the city, and then we had some Angry Steam and some Pale Ale and some unknown liquor for $85 and some pizza, and well, it's a $230 bill, so well, yeah, I'm paying.
Money well spent.
Sure. So in the middle, we have the WebView. Everything else is JavaFX. The receipt is JavaFX, and we just use the JavaFX animations to move it and rotate it. So a lot of JavaFX, but a little bit of a WebView that we've integrated with Google Maps.
Yeah, and this is another thing that really shows off the power of the WebView, I guess. You can run Google Maps with all its JavaScript APIs and so on.
Yeah.
And it's actually a very cool use case for the WebView. But I think I can beat it. I think I have something even cooler.
Sure.
Try not to move. And it should be open already, yeah. Here we go. And it looks like this. So we have, it might look a bit strange. We have a gray window with some different colors that doesn't really match. So what is this? Well, this is kind of a dashboard. These are different widgets or parts of websites that we're displaying. So we can move this around. This is the weather in Antwerp right now. So we can see what it's like on the outside, out there in the big, scary world. And we also have, for some reason, when the next bus leaves from a bus stop in San Francisco. Might not be useful here, but
who knows?
Yeah, who knows? And as you'll see if we leave this up here for a while, these bus times are actually updated on their own. So these are real live pieces of these websites. Yep, there it is. The only reason it's a bit, there's a bit of an offset to the bus times one is that it changes its size all the time, and well, it's not, the program isn't that advanced yet, so you can't sort of make it adjust automatically. But 2 widgets is clearly not enough. We need 1 more. So we have an add button up here, and oh, it's here. There it is. And this is where I register all my, when I go running, I have the GPS watch and I upload it to this. It's a Swedish website. And I can select any of the elements here, like this specific pixel. And I get that as a widget in my dashboard. And I can move that and place it wherever I want it. And I think this is a kind of a cool, I mean, this is a quick example, but you could use this like for a dashboard in the reception of your company or at a hotel showing the weather and when the tram is leaving for Davos and so on. So it's kind of a cool thing, and I like it a lot, and it didn't take that much time to write it. So again, it's a cool use case for the WebView. Yeah, and
Sure
I think that's it. I don't think you can beat this.
I think I can. So I was kind of responsible for coming up with the last demo, and I figured that if I'm the guy who will be writing the last demo, then I will be able to beat you. But it turns out that coming up with the last demo was really, really difficult. I mean, we've shown you everything. So I've been thinking and thinking and thinking, and you know, I've spent 2 weeks just thinking of how to beat you.
And I guess you didn't make it. So thank you.
Then it hit me. You know just going to go back to the slides.
No.
Thank you. So you know. Thank you. So you know the abstract that we send to conferences to get accepted.
Yes. What about it?
Well, it's just some fuzzy text. Nobody cares about it.
Bunch of buzzwords.
Yeah, but it
things
turns
that sounds cool.
It turns out that people actually read the abstract, which is crazy. Why would they do that?
We're in trouble.
Yeah, I know. So, but that's the secret to my next demo, to the last demo, Because all we have to do is just read the abstract and do what it says. I mean, we should be doing that more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have thought of this years ago.
I know.
That would have saved us a whole lot of time.
I know.
Okay.
So this
what
is,
you got?
This is the abstract, and well, it's a lot of buzzwords, but what's important is blurring the line between web and application. I mean, we have to create an application that there's no way that you can know what part is web and what part is JavaFX. So that's what I did, and I'm going to show you. So I've made this wonderful example, and this is it.
Ooh, you built Pong.
Sure. Okay.
All right,
So
so
I
we have a
have
ball
Pong.
bouncing around.
And I bet that no one of you can guess what part is the WebView and what part is JavaFX. Well, except some guys in the back who's attended our Java 1 session, and Jim in the front, so you're not allowed to vote or guess. So, but anyone else that want to take a shot, what is JavaFX, and more specifically, where is the WebView? Because we have a WebView.
And I guess we're pretty safe here, because if anybody comes up with the correct guess, we know that they're cheating.
Sure. So, any guesses? Where is the WebView?
The ball is a common guess.
Yes, and it's not. Well, it is. It's not. It is. It's not. It is. It's not.
I think there's something wrong with you.
On repeat. No,
Yeah.
it's, well, you're kind of right, but it's not the right, it's not the answer that I like. Anyone?
We have books to give away.
Okay, so we're going to bribe you.
This book,
Sure?
half of the screen. Ooh,
Oh,
that's
no.
that's
No, that's
I
clever.
think
No.
this guy deserves a book. It's close
Yeah,
enough.
It's close enough, but you're not right. It was the other half.
But that's what he said. You can't just repeat it.
So we want the book.
Oh, you're guessing the other half. Clever guy. Half of the time. Oh, we're switching back and forth.
Yes and no.
No, not
So
at all.
it's correct, but it's wrong.
How does...
Yes, it's JavaFX. The controls are JavaFX.
But where is the web view?
The rest of it, yes and no.
I think we
so
could
I'm going
go
to
on
show
forever.
you. Yeah, sure. So I have this show web view, and when I press it, the web view will be red. So we have 8 web views combined with 8 JavaFX components, and the ball is moving.
Well, you might guess the ball is just moving on top of them, which would be a really, really simple solution, I guess.
So you say that I've been cheating, right?
Well, I've seen your work, your previous work, so...
Well, I expected that, so I don't know if you can see it, but we have a special ball. When I check the special ball, the ball will be painted differently in the web view and in JavaFX. So this is it. Soon. Okay? Be prepared.
Ooh.
I am not cheating.
For the first time.
For the first time ever.
Doesn't it feel good to do the right thing?
Actually, no. But this is pretty useless. But the point is that you get an understanding of the power of the web view. And what we're doing is we're passing a lot of information between the web views and the JavaFX part. So it's very fast, it's very easy to update, and it's very easy to communicate. And I've spent like a day doing this.
And even with 8 web views, there's no lack of performance. You don't even notice that you're running some pretty heavy stuff here. It just
And
works.
to be honest, we actually started with 1 web view and one JavaFX component, but that was kind of boring. So we added 7 other web views as well. So this is my demo. Can you beat it?
No.
I know. That's about it. I think We've shown you the WebView in action.
Yeah, we've done everything we could think of with it, so now it's up to you, I guess. It's included in JavaFX, and that's included in Java, so you can just download Java and play around with it. And like we said, it's a full WebKit browser, so you can do anything that you can do in a modern browser. So everything just works, which is great. And I think that's all we have to show, but yes, we're happy to take a few questions if you want.
Thank you. We have one more book.
Yeah, we have another book. So, but that's going to be a good question. Not just what time is it or how did you guys end up here?
Yes?
Could you display this example in a browser? Well, I guess you could display the web part of it in a browser. But there's also a lot, I mean, the white ones are JavaFX. So, well, perhaps as an applet, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
No.
We'll have a discussion about that afterwards. But you won't get another book.
Anyone else? Yes?
I'm really good with JavaFX, and I'd like to understand how you can update just by changing the mechanism, how to update immediately this white website.
Right. So how to update...
I'm really curious. You changed it already, the image, and I checked on my mobile.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the JBI example, how did we update the web page from the Java application? And we actually did. We're not cheating here. It's actually updated live. And you're using some Apache library, I think?
Yes.
It's an FTP library. So when we change the page, we upload the source on a background thread. So sorry?
We can see the changes in the screen. You have to update something. You click on the button.
No, you could see the changes here, I guess. It's saved immediately in the background. But you didn't see it? Okay, you can open the demo again, perhaps. If the update worked.
Sure.
Any more questions? Well, I think some criticism deserves a book as well. So you can come get it here down here afterwards, right? It's
So
yours.
we've
Yeah.
loaded the page again, and it's updated.
There it is, yeah. So,
And it's the same on the web. And it's the same on the web. And we're just using an Apache library for updating the FTP. It's very simple.
right. Anybody else? Otherwise, we'll let you go. Thank you so much.